All right, guys, quality and quantity when it comes to nutrition. Let's dive into it. I love this topic. I love this concept. For the people that get their head around this, for the people that get their head around learning this dynamic, then making changes to your nutrition and looking at your diet, your eating habits is revolutionized, right? So, jumping ahead, there's nothing else on this slide. All right. Quality. Quality refers to the nutritional density, the nutritional quality of the food that's in front of us, right? So if you think about an orange flavored lolly snake and an actual orange, which is the higher quality food? The actual orange, clearly, right? Okay, very, very simple. Quantity refers to, it's sort of a cross between, or a little bit of both the volume of food, but also the calorie density of the food, or the amount of calories in the food, right? And in subsequent videos, I'll be giving you some examples of how this kind of works in reality. But the point is, when you're looking at your food, you're trying to balance these things. So let's come up with a nice simple example. Let's say you go to the pub and you get a schnitzel. Chicken schnitzel, you get some chips on the side. That's all you're having. There's no veg, there's no salad, there's just schnitzel, chips, gravy. The overall quality of that food, all right, well, there's a lot of fat, a lot of it saturated, not the highest quality. There's a decent amount of protein, but it's coming wrapped in fat. There's a decent amount of carbohydrates in the potato, in the batter, in the crumb. So from an energy standpoint, okay, there's a good amount of energy there, not the best quality energy. What about micronutrients? What about vitamins and minerals and things? Well, there's not a lot. You get a bit from the potato and the chip, but again, it's not the highest quality potato because it is a deep fried chip. And there might be a bit in the chicken. The rest of the food, not super nutrient dense. So we would look at the schnitzel and the chips and go, okay, the quality isn't that high. The quantity, the amount of food on the plate and the amount of calories, quite high. And so that is part of why we would consider that type of food as sometimes food for most beginners, because the scales just aren't balanced in favor of both health and balancing out the energy that most people would need in a day. It's very easy in our culture to take an excess of energy, but we'll go into the energy a bit more when we do energy balance in the next video. But just looking at this dynamic is going to be very, very helpful in looking at the food in front of you and going, is this a high quality meal, or does this food have a lot of nutrients in it? And am I being mindful and conservative with the amount of volume and the amount of calories? And that's usually what we're trying to balance. Right? So you'll see these images later on in the series. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail when we get to the micronutrients video. And essentially, micronutrients mean small nutrients. Macronutrients are big nutrients. They're the energy nutrients. That's protein, carbs, and fats. Technically, alcohol has a decent amount of calories as well, but it's protein, carbs, and fats. Micronutrients are your vitamins and minerals. So when we're thinking quality, we're thinking what foods are going to have a good, rich mix of the vitamins and minerals that we need. And I love these images because you can just visually look at the types of foods that are going to give you a wide range of each of these vitamins and minerals, and how easy it can be to tick a lot of boxes with the same food group. So if we look at things like as simple as, let's look at the mineral side of things, let's focus on fish. How often do we see fish pop up? Well, fish pops up in sodium, iodine, fluorine, chromium, sulfur, a little bit of selenium, B3, B5, B6, vitamin D. Just having fish is going to tick so many boxes, right? Dark leafy greens, they pop up in a bunch of different places. So instead of looking at this and feeling restricted, look at this and just open your eyes to the reality of, like, this shit doesn't need to be complicated. Quality and quantity can be quite nice. if I was in the position of being at the pub and having the schnitzel, for example, and I was focused on, all right, I'm trying to eat more higher quality food, and I'm trying to kind of reduce my calories a little bit, but I still want tasty stuff, you could compromise in a couple of ways. I might get, if the pub offers it, grilled chicken with like a Diane sauce or a mushroom gravy or something instead of the crumb. Going to save a bit there. And instead of chips, I might get mashed potato or a side of seasoned veg or a side of salad. Could get like a rump steak with some chips and some seasoned veg or a salad. It doesn't mean it has to be all or nothing. It's like I might as well try and reduce a little bit of calories by taking out some bits of food that I don't really mind if I've got them or not, and put in some extra stuff that is still going to taste nice in the context of the meal and ticks a few more boxes. That's pretty much it. So I'd encourage you to look at the foods that you're eating and just start to think, what is the quality of this food? And how much of it am I eating? How many calories? How much energy is in this? And your ability to figure that out is going to get a lot better as we go through the next series of videos. We look at energy balance, we look at micronutrients, protein, fats, and carbs. As we look at all those topics, then your lens will become more and more informed. So let's dive straight into the next one. We're going to look at energy balance and how that works. I'll see you guys in the next one.